in round 4.
I think it was a right hook as
Intergalactic boxing. Subscribe and jab that like button. You already know I want you to do it.
So let's get
to it. 2 top fighters going head to head. One hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, former high school football star, current badass welterweight buzzsaw, tearing through the welterweight division. The other one, a master boxer from Omaha, Nebraska, who can switch hit better than damn near anyone in the history of boxing.
Time you fighting, when the next time you fighting? So, you know, everybody's just been sitting there just hungry for it.
This Saturday, they'll be squaring off in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a fight for welterweight supremacy. A win for either man can easily be considered the best of their respective careers, with the winner a legit #1 welterweight. A Porter win will actually be bigger than the Crawford win, just for the simple fact that Crawford has never been defeated. So a win for Porter would definitely send a tremendous shockwave, not only through the welterweight division, but through boxing as a whole, considering Crawford's pound-for-pound status.
I don't know what you consider us to be now at this point, but whatever the case may be. Say again?
Ain't no friends till after the fight.
There you go. So I'm not mad at that. And we operate differently. And I understand Terrence, and I think that we can talk all about resumes. We can talk all about who's done what, who's done this and that. But when I look at his resume and I say something like, I know Terrence, nobody else that's been in the ring with him knows him the way that I know him.
Let's first take a look at Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford has fought plenty of top names. Let's look specifically at his fight with Kell Brook. Crawford started off with a brief filling out period before completely taking over the fight and manhandling Kell Brook while landing pinpoint combinations that threw Brook's rhythm off totally and then finishing him.
Lead jab from Crawford there, as Crawford has remained in the orthodox stance for most of the first 2 rounds, and then a good right hand.
I think both men fighting with a lot of respect for the other.
Do you think that Kell Brook looks that much bigger than Bud tonight? And I'm bigger, I'm stronger. He hasn't seen anybody my size. That was his narrative that he pushed the whole time.
He uses physical girth or size to push him.
Crawford is an absolute thinker who can think and react fast enough to fight aggressively, leaving his opponent in a position to have to play catch-up while also defending Crawford's next attack. Under the tutelage of his coach, Bomac, Crawford has developed a cautiously aggressive style that allows him to effortlessly switch from southpaw to conventional stances, depending on the situation. A master of adjustments, Bud Crawford can analyze an opponent's habits, good or bad, and make an on-the-spot tweak to his game plan that can nullify any of his opponent's advantages. This is who he will have to be, the very best version of himself ever, because he will be going up against this man who will undoubtedly bring the very best version of himself ever, and that is Showtime Shawn Porter. For Porter, we will focus on his super fight with fellow welterweight titan Earl Spence instead of Kell Brook, because this is a more recent version of Shawn's current abilities. The fight was pretty much a dog fight from the start, similar to most of Porter's fights, but Spence was able to hang in there blow for blow and even gaining control at certain times. But Porter's physicality, persistence, and dogged mentality enabled him to unleash a relentless offensive attack. Spence worked behind the jab intelligently and continued to set traps for Porter as they stood toe-to-toe, blow for blow, over the course of 12 long, hard-fought rounds.
These punches are starting to stray a little low, but let me tell you, this is an incredible action fight right now. Whoa, both guys landed.
Spence was doing a good job moving like that.
Lennox, we've heard the word dirty thrown out leading up to this fight from the, as you mentioned, we've seen some low blows from Errol Spence tonight.
Yeah, it's part of the reason, like Joe said, he's holding his head down. Porter's feeling him because I can see him breathing kind of heavy.
Oh, big left by Porter. Big left hook right on the temple of Spence. He's landing the hard shots to the head.
After 12 rounds of grueling action, Porter was ahead on one scorecard, while Spence was ahead on the other two, sealing a close split decision victory over Shawn Porter. The heart, resolve, and tenacity that Porter exhibited against Spence, who at the time was considered the best welterweight in the division, earned Porter a lot of respect and raised his stock tremendously, because prior to that fight, no one had ever pushed or tested Spence the way Porter did. Lots of adjustments have been made surrounding Porter's game plan since his first loss to Kell Brook and since his loss to Spence. And since he does have a win over you guys, and you guys recently defeated the great Manny Pacquiao, technically he's already beat the man who beat the man. Expect Porter to apply his usual pressure while working the body of Crawford in an attempt to take some steam off of his punches and also minimizing his mobility. Ideally, the primary key for Porter, outside of using feints to set traps, is cutting off the ring so he can trap Crawford along the ropes so he can unleash. Depending on how you look at it, Shawn Porter is an underdog, but an extremely live one considering his experience on a world-class level, and plus his father and coach, Kenny Porter, who's an excellent trainer. You have Kenny Porter and Bomac, two great coaches with two great fighters, squaring off November 20th, ESPN Plus pay-per-view. So who do I think will win this epic battle? Yeah, Bud Crawford can come in, take control, dominate, and win the fight. But I think this is Porter's night, and he won't be denied. I think Shawn Porter's going to get in that ring, turn on his buzzsaw, and let it rip. In the end, I think he'll just be too much for Crawford, and he'll surprise everyone in the boxing world. It's an extremely hard pick to make, and I never pick against Bud Crawford, but something just tells me that this is going to be Shawn Porter's night. He's going to do something special that, we'll never forget. Agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Only one thing left to do, and that's just wait until fight night and see what happens. Jab that like button and subscribe, and we'll chop it up next time.